All right, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in with the kid. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notification. Increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App $ CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link is in the description. But yeah, we here, man. We're gonna talk about possibly trading for Davante Adams and the Lions' victory over the Seattle Seahawks. It was 6 straight of Seattle putting hands, foot, toes, and elbows on us, and we got by. Aaron Glenn still struggled with Geno Smith, and Seattle got a good team. I mean, Tyler Lockett historically killed us. It was definitely. Let me get myself together. It definitely was a difference on our corners versus what we had last year with them. So it definitely was a difference and how we were maneuvering as far as our corners and stuff. So they did a great job, with some calls out there, and a lot of people tied to Terrion Arnold holding and pass interference, which at the end of the day, if Rackstraw was healthy, you wonder would they pull him. But he right there, he just panicking at the point. He got to learn past that 5-yard point in the National Football League. You can't touch him. That's just what it is. It's weak as hell, but everything, once money get involved in something, it usually is not the same. That's just what it is. It's usually not the same. So money get involved, money wasn't involved in your relationship, with your friend or your significant other. It's definitely going to change once money get involved. That's just what it is. Listen to me. That's definitely won't be what it is. You know what I'm saying? But don't forget, check my other channel, Goodfella TV, out right here on YouTube, man. Yeah, check that out, man. That's in the link tree. Check out my Free Game 89 channel. Check out the whole thing, man. So, but yeah, it was a hellified game. Andre, what did it do, dog? What's going on, brother? But it was a hellified game. I mean, obviously, I didn't even pay attention. I didn't watch a snippet of, and I'll get to Davante Adams in a minute. I didn't get to a snippet of the Titans in the what's the other brother, the Miami game. And I like the Titans team, other than the quarterback. They actually got a good football team. You drop Prime Brady on that team or Brady on that team, they probably won us a Super Bowl. They probably would have a Super Bowl opportunity. Miami. Let me say this, I'm a huge Justin Jefferson fan, regardless of him fucking us up every year. Excuse my language. I'm a huge Justin Jefferson fan, but he's the best receiver in football. I mean, Davante Adams leaves Aaron Rodgers trash. Tyreek Hill don't got Tua, or Patrick Mahomes trash. Jamar Chase. Yeah, I just look at him as he kind of put me in a mindset of a Randy Moss, kind of more of just a deep threat. And I know he caught that touchdown on that crossing route or that slant route, whatever it was. But when I look at Justin Jefferson, regardless of the quarterback, whether it's who was the backup that would kill us in the last game of last season, whether it's the backup, Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, Josh Dobbs, it don't matter who it is. Justin Jefferson just produces. He produces. You can't say the same for too many other receivers. Regardless of who the receiver and quarterback is, Justin Jefferson just produces. So, I mean, he go across the middle. He play the slide. He go on the outside. He a deep threat. He a short threat. He is short to take it deep. Take it long. So, he's just the absolute fucking beast, dude. But I don't think it's not even close. It's Justin Jefferson and everybody else. But yeah, but like I said before, for the Lions, man, it's just to the point where, defensively, Aaron Glenn still having trouble. But he was down some Warriors Monday night. They were down, Brian Branch, F.A. Melifanu, and I think it was Kirby Joseph that came in on the blitz off the edge of and Miss Geno Smith. One thing I miss about F.A. Melifanu, who went on the IR list for the next 4 weeks, is he's an excellent blitzer. You don't know if he's coming or if he's going. No, did he? So he does a great job when he blitz off the edge. He does a great job of disguising his blitzes, and he does a great job of wrapping up and tackling. So F.A. Melifano was missed, has been missed. Brian Branch was missed. Derek Barnes is definitely going to be missed. Hopefully, Ennis Rackstraw can get healthy. We can see what he looked like out there a little bit. But as far as that defensive line, you looking at it, you got to think about it. James Houston got offside, so a lot of people pissed at him. I don't think he want to be here no more. It's hard to be here, and then Dan Campbell don't want you here, but Brad want him here. But take some time. You down Kaminsky, you down Davenport, which I don't think anybody was surprised by that, knowing his history. Derek Barnes also played the edge for them as an emergency. So really, Anzarike is just not going to cut it on that edge. He's doing well. He's just not going to cut it on the edge, honestly. So with him not being able to cut it on the edge, full time, they got to go out there and find defensive end. So I don't know if it's going to be via trade. Is it going to be via free agency? But yeah, they're masquerading that. I know Broderick Martin helped them a little bit more depth on the interior, and that allowed Anzarike. I know I read a report that he is being pretty healthy. But I don't really think the pass rush was kind of an issue versus Geno Smith. Geno Smith just got our number. It was a lot of times where they close to bringing down Geno, and they just didn't do it. So it was kind of, it's a few times I see Aiden Hutchinson every game I watch him play, he get held, there's no call. He was getting held plenty of times in that game, and there wasn't no call. So, but defensively, before they need somebody else on the edge. So if it's Hassan Reddick, we can pull up the what's that? Let me see if we can pull this up. I need to call somebody because so I don't know exactly who's out here, and quite frankly, they should do better. Other than signing, what's the brother's name? Other than signing Davenport, they should have just signed. I feel like they should have just signed Jadeveon Clowney. Hold on, I'm tripping out here. Available. So let's see who we got available out here real quick. So Randy Gregory, I think they said Yannick Ngakoue got signed already, but they're not showing that he signed. So let me see. Guy at one point they used to produce. You don't need Superman out here. So yeah, he with the Baltimore Ravens, like y'all said. No, I don't know. We know Wikipedia don't lie. He only 29 too. So yeah, he's on a practice squad of the Baltimore Ravens. So technically, the Lions could sign him off the Ravens practice squad. Or in the only way the Ravens could stop that is sign him to the 53-man active roster, which they could. Shaq Lawson is still out here. He only 30 years old. So see. So let's look at Shaq Lawson. So he only 30. 26 sacks in his career, 109 games, 29, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons in the league. Yeah, he never had double-digit sacks, so, I don't know. So maybe, I'm not saying that's the, prerequisite or nothing like that, but Anthony Barr is out there still. I don't think it's a bad thing. You ain't asking him to cover no linebackers or nothing like that. So, he was with Dallas last year, and I know, he would love to get back at the Minnesota Vikings, but I guess in Dallas, he wasn't good enough. So, okay, he was in Minnesota last year. He went back to Minnesota. But in 2022, he's in Dallas. He had one sack. In the last 5 seasons, he didn't have 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. 5 seasons, he had less than 6 sacks. So, but a lot of that time, they was asking him to stand up, being linebacker and all that, and drop into coverage. So, at 32 years old, he's a name. But if you could just strictly give him a rush to passer, maybe he'd be all right. Austin Bryan, he's been in Detroit before. Bro, Bruce Irvin, he did get a sack last season for us. So the pickings is slim out here, to be honest. The pickings is slim. You got Tyus Bowers. Let's see what he about. You know, so been in Baltimore, you know, solid 2 sacks, 7 sacks. Only played 9 games last year. Last time he played 17 games. Well, he didn't play in 2023. 2024, you know, he was with this. Oh, he with the Seahawks right now. So, yep. So he with the Seahawks right now. So it's a waste of our time talking about dogs. So, but I don't know where they're gonna find a relief at when it comes to the linebacker position. I mean, edge position, but Hassan Reddick, Randy Gregory, Anthony Barr, I don't know whoever it's gonna be, but because you probably won't get Kaminsky back, you won't get Davenport back, but you will get Broderick Martin back in that middle. But yeah, they need some edge help. So hopefully they find it. You know, if it's Randy Gregory, if it's Anthony Barr, if it's signing Yannick Ngakoue for practice squad, if it's trading Hassan Reddick, I'm not sure. He said the Vikings are the Lions' biggest threat. I don't know. Right now, I would say it was still Green Bay. But we'll see. Vikings hot. But the first quarter, I mean, had a lot of games at home. They did go to Lambeau, but they did catch Aaron. I'll keep calling this dude Aaron all day. They did catch Jordan Love come off injury. I knew they would lose that game with Jordan Love coming off injury, though. So that wasn't new. I don't think he was just quite ready. You giving a second for Adams? No, I'm not. But I get there. I don't think he worked for second at this point. Because you got to look at his contract past this season. Brad needs to get us a pass rusher ASAP. I agree with Dom the Bandit. Wow, Detroit Tigers won again. That series is over with. They playing the Guardians. It's the best of 3. So, yeah, that series is over with. The Tigers advance. They send the Astros home packing. So, what's going on, Shift the guy? He said the refs. And y'all had more penalty yards than we did. They called more bullshit penalties on us than they called on y'all. So, quite frankly, the refs helped y'all way more than they helped us. So, at the end of the day, blame y'all coach for not challenging that touchdown, which I still believe he was out. But DK Metcalf was pushing and holding just as old buddy was, Carlton Davis. So, the refs ain't y'all lost by almost 2 scores. How did the refs cheat y'all? Y'all lost. Blame DK for fumbling. There was a bunch of bad calls for y'all. Y'all had way more penalty yards than we had. That's a fact. I think we had 110 penalty yards, 100 yards. You only had 70. Y'all didn't play nobody. That's the problem. Y'all came in, thought y'all was good, and y'all got that ass beat. That's what happened. Seattle and Rain City Pigeons got beat on. It was long overdue. You see how we did Devin Weatherspoon? You see how Dave Montgomery ran over Weatherspoon? But I admire how Weatherspoon got back up, though. I admired how he got back up, though. He got knocked down. He should have been the Lion, though, low key. We was gonna draft his ass too. Montgomery ran that hoe over. He got right back on up. Weatherspoon tough. He real tough. Yeah, y'all got a real one in Devin Weatherspoon, but defensively, I thought they did what they can do, but the pass interference calls and Terrion, I think people getting frustrated with Terrion in the hole, and it's just an adjustment that got to be made. You got to remember he got injured in training camp too, so I think a lot of people forget that. So that's a lot of period where you don't really get those reps, and then you continue on. Number 12, Brandon Joseph, that hoe was out there missing tackles left and right, boy. Brandon Joseph was out there, boy. I didn't know who number 12 was until after the game. I think I might have looked it up, or I think I looked it up, man. I had to search his jersey number, bro. Yeah, I looked him up. I said, man, who was number 12? I said, who was number 12? But yeah, number 2. I know it was kind of probably his first start. But I was like, man, he was out there. He allowed some of them Kenneth Walker runs to go crazy too. But he's a young guy. I like Brandon Joseph though. But for the most part, the offense clicked. I mean, most importantly, I think a lot of people spoke on this. It clicked in the third quarter. It clicked in the third quarter. Seattle, they made an adjustment coming out of half. The adjustment that Seattle went with, they went with a semi no huddle. They sped up the pace. So Seattle started speeding up the pace, and that's why they started breaking runs. And one of the reasons the pace bothered the Lions, they didn't have no depth defensively. Safeties was depleted. D-line was depleted. You got a couple guys on the defensive line. Lee McNeil playing with an injury. You also had DJ Reader, who's still playing himself into shape. And behind DJ Reader, you have Mekhi Wingo, a rookie. And then you have Anzarike playing edge and in the middle. So, and then Aiden Hutchinson and Josh Pascal. So you was real thin up front. No Derek Barnes to help out on the edge when you need to. Linebackers was thin. So that was perfect for them to speed up that pace. But the Lions answered every time, whether it was Jamison Williams, whether it was, key play to Tim Patrick, whether it was, Montgomery and Gibbs, running the ball. I mean, they finally started to hit their pace. And, you got to ask yourself, if you're an NFL team, are you willing to give up the first quarter of the season offensively, because you don't play preseason. So you just, I keep telling y'all those 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 reps they get in training camp, it's not the same as the bullets really flying out there for real. It's not the same as real football. If I can't hit your quarterback, then it's not football. So do you give up your potential injuries in the preseason, by not playing the preseason, or do you play the preseason, risk the injury? And right now, the Lions' whole thing is we just gonna play. We ain't gonna play the preseason offensively. Defensively, you really don't worry about it. Yeah, the tackling is gonna be nasty early on. I mean, if anybody play football, we know the tackling is always nasty early on, but the defense come together a lot faster. No Diddy. So the defense come together faster. They galvanize for the offense is just a little bit different. Defense, it ain't too hard. Unless you start stunning and you start adding, you start playing zone, then it may come a little bit difficult because zone, you watching the quarterback eye. So the quarterback may do some things and you may cheat. So zone is all about discipline. Defensive line is all about gap discipline. So when you stun or you got, if you got the edge, you got the edge. You don't jump gaps. You don't, it's all about the discipline. So, So defense should, usually come together fast. There's only so many coverages you could play. Cover 4, 2-man under that combination coverage. Robin, single high. So defense only really become complicated when you really run in zone. In my opinion, where you really run in zone and where you stunting up front. That's it. And man to man, it can. Man to man, really, is you guard your man. But if you're talking about motions and switching in and outs and picks and all that, it becomes a little bit difficult. But for the most part, zone is difficult because you watching the quarterback, and if you cheat, it's a wrap. Especially if you playing cover 2 as your safeties. That's what they call them, safeties. They're the last line of defense between the end zone usually. So especially you playing them too high or that cover 2 shell. If that safety don't play it right and he don't come over the top, it's a wrap. It's usually 6. That's why a lot of people are scared to play cover 2 on Madden. But a lot of dudes don't understand, if you know how to play cover 2 right on Madden, it'll be A1. Especially when you running the ball and they running those outside zones and all that type of them outside, cheese plays. Cover 2 is how you stop that shit. And it's been like that for like the last 15, 16 years. A lot of people, they be too scared to play it. But if you got the stick skills to go over the top with the safety and play the safety and stop the receiver, you'll be all right. But that's another conversation for another day. But offensively, it all started when they started running the football. They got back to their identity. Jahmyr Gibbs is obviously not 100%. I think the bye week, him and that hamstring, and Laporta obviously not 100%. But for the most part, they've been finding saving grace in David Montgomery. They've been finding saving grace in Jamison Williams. Tim Patrick, I like the way he's moving out there. Tim Patrick going to be a problem. He running fast. He looking good. He said he felt good. You just wonder, why Denver just let him walk like that. I know they probably wanted to go with younger guys, but he was the number 2 receiver in Denver for many years. And at 6'4", coming off an Achilles and a blown ACL, he actually moving pretty well. So, the more him and old buddy him and Patrick, get Goff and Patrick get on point, he gonna be a weapon. So really, it's at the question of how fast can they get Allen Robinson in there doing this thing, and then you'll see a lot of Khalif doing gadget stuff. So no, I got Xbox. Xbox actually better, bro. Like, and people but it depends on what you. I don't play none of them non-exclusive games. I play Call of Duty. I might play Madden. I might play for some racing game, but that's pretty much all I play. I don't play 2K no more. I don't play adventure games other than Grand Theft Auto. So I don't play the non-exclusive. If you catch me playing something that's outside of that, it's a Tony Hawk Pro Skater bundle I got. 007, Streets of Rage. It's more nostalgic stuff. I don't play Spider-Man, and I don't play like none of that other shit. I don't play it. So yeah, only real like games that I actually like adventure games with Sub-Zero's Mythologies back on PlayStation days, Fight Force. That's only really stuff I used to play like that. Like, it takes me a lot to play an adventure game. So them, Borderlands and Last Charted, I don't have any interest. I bought Watch Dogs when it first came out and was highly disappointed in that game. So it's either like Mario, Super Mario, stuff like I play stuff like that. Sonic. I got a PlayStation over there, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Switch, Xbox One X. Xbox is better, got better graphics. Somebody tried to argue me that at GameStop. Oh, it's about the same. No, the fuck it's not. Xbox has clearly been ahead of the curve. And the thing about PlayStation, I had the PS3 when they had the global outage in the PS3 when the internet went down for like 2 or 3 months. I remember that. Like, and that's where PlayStation switched from free to play on the internet, to paid internet. So now that y'all paying to find internet, y'all still lack security to play it on the internet, which is crazy. When it was free, they took it down. When they paid for it, they took it down. But I just prefer the Xbox. I mean, I had an regular Xbox. I was a PlayStation guy. The GameCube and the PS2 is my favorite consoles of all time. But when I started playing Xbox, it just was more convenient. The controller, just more convenient in my opinion. But I don't really get into hardcore playing though. I don't even put the headset on no more. But if you was Brad Holmes, what you call Cleveland, see if you can get Zadarius Smith, if Crosby is unlikely, yeah, I would. I like Zadarius Smith. So I doubt if they get rid of Crosby. Our defense was getting cooked to that PI on Tyler. That was a no call on DK. Tyler Lockett stay cooking us. Yeah, he was a virgin he still may be a virgin. Shout out to him. I ain't mad at him. Shit is crazy out here. Seahawks fans, we knew we ain't beat nobody. Yeah, y'all ain't beat nobody. But hey, Denver defense tough as fuck though. Denver defense tough, and New York talking about we gonna get Davante Adams. That ain't gonna help y'all. Dallas ain't gonna help Davante. Cleveland can't get helped by Davante. All them get teams need to run the football. There's a lot of teams that could have used Derrick Henry out here. And how did Chicago let David Montgomery go? Let's have that conversation. That might have been one of the dumbest shits they ever did in their life. Our whole entire D-line was out too. Yeah, though. That one big fella was in there making noise, though. I forget his name. They got the sack. The sack that took down Goff in the end zone. He said safety sucks because Brad never trades for anyone big. He shops at Walmart, Ben's, and that's the Lions' whole thing. It's been like that the whole year, but they never been this close neither. So maybe with them being close to being able to close a deal, maybe they might go out and get people. But you got to remember, he gave up a lot of draft capital to get Manu and to get Vecchi. So yeah, he gave up a lot of draft capital to get those guys. So 9 times out of 10, more of that capital is probably going to come from 2026. So he really can't leverage a lot, but it is what it is. Right, I'm taking Joseph under his tackles, but he can catch though. Yeah, that dude couldn't tackle for shit. I didn't know who 12 was. He said, I bet Brad will go after Bruce Irvins or Tyson Lulu. Man, them dudes should be in the retirement home. He said, I got both on college football. I'm trying to ask him. Oh yeah, I don't got college football. I never got it. I might go pick it up one day. I got Madden over there. I played it like a few times. I'm 3-0 online. I just ain't had time to play it. Shit been hectic. But yeah, offensively, man, the Lions, to wrap it up offensively, the Lions have been they've been straight. They've been straight. But 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 yeah, I think that I think they, for what changed for them is they got back to running the ball. I think what's the brother name that played for Tampa, the big fella, Vita Vea scared them from running the football. They should not be scared to run on nobody. And once they got back to running the football, Goff seemed to be more mobile. He seemed to be his arm stronger. He seemed to throw more accurate. And then this was out without Frank Ragnow. So, you know, when they start running the football, put the defense on his heels and put the big fellas on put them on their front foot. And really the defense, they got to commit to stopping the run or the pass. And now you got J-Mo back there that can take it 6 at any given time. You got to worry about Sam Laporta. As they get healthy, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be more explosive. As they get healthy, Tim Patrick is seen to be an explosive piece. And then as they get healthy, Sam Laporta is going to get more explosive. So you're going to get the cavalry coming back. I know it's a lot of talk about, Green Bay getting Jordan Love back and Minnesota getting TJ Hawkinson back. Hopefully he healthy. I know that was a bad play last year, but I don't know what you want people to do. I can't hit you high. Got to hit you low. But the Lions are going to get a healthy Jahmyr Gibbs. They're going to get a healthy Sam Laporta back. You know what I'm saying? Tim Patrick is going to get in there and Allen Robinson going to get in there and they're going to do some things. So, yeah, Dan Campbell said he feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is getting close. And it looked like it. He looking close to busting one out of there. And so we gonna get some guys that's semi-healthy. As long as the O-line play well, you can let Frank do what he do. But my biggest concern overall for the team, as my dog is sleeping. Hold on real quick. My bad. But my concern is that edge position. We got decimated there. We got decimated, early with Kaminsky. We got decimated early with Marcus Davenport, which we all knew Davenport was gonna get injured. That ain't nothing new. We knew it. But right now, when they run the ball, Goff like a totally different quarterback. I like the screenplay to Sam Laporta. That was a dope little play they played. So I think running the football, getting back to basics, opened up the imagination of Ben Johnson, and for now, that should be who they are. But they got weapons to play with. That's why you kind of talking about adding Davante Adams, adding T. Higgins. I actually like what I've seen from Tim Patrick, and I think with them signing Allen Robinson to the roster, it's probably gonna get a little bit more uglier if they can implement both of them. So my concern for them is just the edge position. Even the depth they got at linebacker is ridiculous. How well Rodrigo can come in and play and step in for Barnes, and Jack Campbell made the fumble on DK Metcalf and Anazzoni. So really, even the depth they got at safety and cornerbacks, eventually you'll get I love Khalil Dorsey. Eventually they'll get back Rackstraw. He'd get healthy, get in the mix. Vitor's still there. So Amick Robertson and Carlton Davis was kind of, missing some tackles there and there, but Amick came up with some big plays. He kind of was looking shaky early on, but he made some big plays on the ball. He made some big tackles. So really for them, I'm just concerned about the edge. That's it. So whoever they can get in and play that edge, that's going to be important. But they can't keep masquerading Nazarique out there. They're going to have to go out there and find somebody else that can get in. Obviously, you would like James Houston to kind of be that guy to go out there and actually put belt the ass out there. He may do it. And him and brother Dan Campbell might have the heart-to-heart and get a fresh start. So that might be what it is, but that's my only real issue with Detroit right now is just that edge is what scared me. So yeah, the edge is what scared me. But I think I think it's gonna be interesting. But talk about Davante Adams. There's a lot of talk about the Lions getting Davante Adams. I mean, it helps. It helps. I think he'd be able to get the football, but I think, right now, seeing what you got in Tim Patrick, you know what I'm saying? I think seeing what you got in Tim Patrick is very, very important. He's looking good, and how old is Tim Patrick, by the way? Let me see. How old is Tim Patrick? see how old Tim Patrick is. He's 30 years old, so he'll be 31 in November. So he's kind of fairly old. I mean, older, you know what I'm saying, as far as football wise. But he been looking pretty good, bouncing off them 2 injuries. He look explosive, and if you could get an upgrade, I guess Davante would be 33 right before Christmas. And kind of one thing I was kind of looking at when I did the video, I looked at his contract. And, I heard his preferred destination might be the Saints going back with Derek Carr. You got to understand that's why he went over to New Orleans was to play with Derek Carr. Okay. So, and for the Saints, that make a lot of sense, in my opinion. They run the ball well. That Rasheed guy, Speedy, and Chris Olave, and, Taysom Hill is doing his thing over there. And so it would make a lot of sense for the Saints to do so. Got a good defense over there. But once you get out this year, which right now it says cap hit is at $13 million. Once you get out this year, after this year, he's $70 million for 2 years. So do you try to, cut, try to throw this contract away and restructure the contract? So once you talk about restructuring and paying him, if it's just not going to be a rental year, you talking about possibly paying him, $35, $36 million a year if he come and produce just to stay on the team. So that's what you kind of pretty much worried about is financially. Financially, what do you do after this year? You got St. Brown making 28 million, he going to make 35. You're going to do a cap friendly contract with him and try to, raise it up, where it don't count against the cap like that. So I mean, from a point, my point of view, if I'm gonna go out there and spend capital that I don't really want to spend or don't really have to spend, it's gonna be going out there trying to get a Max Crosby. I think Trey Hendricks got injured for the Bengals. It's gonna be me trying to go out there and get an edge. If I can go out there and find an edge off the street, or I can find an edge, then maybe I'll look here. But at this point, I think I've seen enough from Tim Patrick so far to see that he's getting implemented and he's doing well. Can Davante help you out a lot? Absolutely. But I feel like, I feel like this. It depends what the ticket is for him. I mean, second round pick is expensive for a 31-year-old receiver that I'm gonna have to pay again. I have to pay $35+ million if I choose to keep him under this current contract. And then he hasn't really necessarily produced, you know what I'm saying, with the Raiders. And, could it be maybe he was a product of Aaron Rodgers? Could it be the inconsistent, erratic play of the quarterbacks in Raider land? I don't know. But I understand why Lion fans want to see him here, because you could feel like he could be the final missing piece. So even this last year in Las Vegas wasn't bad. 1,144 yards, 8 TDs. That's not a bad year. You know what I'm saying? In the previous year with Vegas, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. So with their car, they seem to be on point. So you starting to look around and do you? I mean, I don't know, man. To be honest, I would look to probably get an edge, and then worried about that. Not necessarily go, trade for an edge, but I can find an edge, and then, then we can figure those things out. In my humble opinion, but don't mind that dog. He deaf. I keep had to say that through my videos today. I didn't know that until my neighbor told me he was deaf. So he always barking because he deaf. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, if they do it, I'm not mad about it. I'm not going to complain about it if they do it. But me personally, I don't think it's necessary to go for Davante. If I can get, DeAndre Hopkins on the cheap for a little bit of nothing, if I get them at the same price, easily Davante Adams. Easily Davante Adams. If I can get them at the same price, easily Davante Adams. But if I can get Davante, if I get Davante at a cheap, If I can get DeAndre on the cheap, that's what I'm going with. I'm getting him for the cheap. I mean, Hopkins on the cheap. So, but yeah, he'll be a good piece, and yeah, he'll be a good piece. But I think I like what I've seen from Tim Patrick, and obviously they signed Allen Robinson to the roster, so I think they may be straight in that department. But one injury can change it all. Yeah, one injury can change it all. You know, um, but 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 we gotta wait and see. But I like to see where this ends up. But some of the teams that's rumored to get him, like Dallas already said they're not interested. Um, uh, Cleveland, I don't understand. That's not going to help them. They need to run the ball. So New Orleans seemed like out of the teams that's been interested, because his relationship with Derek Carr might be the best fit. But but if I'm being honest, I think the best fit for him, he may not necessarily like this place, is in Buffalo. I think Buffalo, put him with Keon Coleman, and get Josh Allen that. Josh Allen might be going to the Super Bowl. I think that's what they missing. The way James Cook running the football. Yeah, the way James Cook running the football. I think and what he doing with really no receiving core right now. What are you doing with no receiving core right now? So you give him Davante Adams, and I think Buffalo will take off, in my opinion. So, but really Dallas, that's not gonna save Dallas. They need to run the football. Stop the run the football. Cleveland, the quarterback is ass. I mean, you got what's the kid they got over Elijah Moore? You got Jerry Jeudy. You got Amari Cooper. Deshaun Watson just ain't no good. That's just what it boiled down to. Deshaun Watson, if it's Cleveland curse, or maybe if he went to Jacksonville, he played for, the Raiders, he probably be a better quarterback. But Cleveland just cursed when it comes to quarterbacks. Just being honest. So, these teams that's from Pittsburgh, I like Pittsburgh a lot. But let's be real. Justin Fields, I don't know if he's really good at the quarterback position right now. You don't really see, and it's still early with Pittsburgh, but you really don't see the 1, 2, 3, him going through his reads like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still like learning to play the position. So I know Pickens and all that stuff, and Pittsburgh, another team that need a running game. You know what I'm saying? They need to run the football. I understand Justin Fields is going to make the running game that much better, but they need to be running the football. I don't really know if Davante Adams is going to solve their problems. They having problems getting into the tight end, who's pretty good. What's his name? Boomfing, whatever his name. You got George Pickens there, so maybe another receiver like Davante would help the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not saying it won't, but I think if Pittsburgh, they having problems getting the ball to fucking George Pickens right now. Let's keep it real. Freiermuth, you know what I'm saying? They got Freiermuth. They got they let the other brother go too. He's down there in Carolina. DeAndre, what's his name? The dude, I think he played in Toledo, DeAndre Thompson or whatever. I liked him a lot too. But they got George Pickens, they need receivers. I seen Van Jefferson as their number 2 receiver, and Calvin, they can use a receiver. But I do like Roman Wilson in a slot eventually. I know he's coming off injury, but yeah. Yeah, they need a receiver. They need a receiver. I'm not sure he would be the end all be all for them though. But like I said about Davante, man, um, I mean, I really think they okay with Tim Patrick, and that could change. But I think if they didn't have the need for another edge, or they would set at edge, then I would say I wouldn't mind it. So, but next year you can go into the draft, find a receiver, and you can do that next year. But, um, like really, he would be that missing piece the Lions would need. I mean, they would be unstoppable with Davante Adams. They would be unstoppable. Um, third downs between him, Laporta, Adams, and what J-Mo can do. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. But that's pretty much all I got for tonight, y'all. So, y'all got any questions? I can stick around for a second, but don't be on to the next one. Uh, but to be honest, uh, you know, I think Hopkins would be a little bit overkill. Deontay Thompson. Okay, Deontay Johnson is his name. Funny, it popped up on Bleacher Report that Panthers head coach doesn't see a deal for the receiver Deontay Johnson. Trade unlikely. So there we go. So, so former Pistons Ish Smith becoming a pro scout. So, shout out to the Wizards hiring former Pistons as a scout, Ish Smith. So, just a little news I got, but I appreciate y'all. Peace.